Welcome back to Squawk Box this morning. Mark Zuckerberg was at Georgetown University yesterday defending Facebook's light touch on policing its political content. Here's what he had to say.
We're at another crossroads. We can either continue to stand for free expression, understanding its messiness, but believing that the long journey towards greater progress requires confronting ideas that challenge us. Or we can decide that the cost is simply too great. And I'm here today because I believe that we must continue to stand for free expression.
Okay, joining us right now to discuss this and more, Joanne Littman, Distinguished Journalism Fellow at the Institute for Advanced Study in Princeton and a CNBC contributor. Also, Megan Morris is here, Senior Financial Reporter at Business Insider. I'm going to start with the Distinguished Fellow. It's nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
There's been a lot of critique of this. You go on Twitter, I don't know if you call them trolls or not, but people were sort of unhappy with this speech. Were you happy with this speech?
I was not on Twitter, but I will tell you, I actually think the speech was dangerous.
Dangerous?
I do. He was really making a lot of false equivalencies here. He was saying we need free expression versus, say, China, which censors free expression. But it was a false equivalency because what he was talking about, he was making reference to Martin Luther King and the importance of free speech, to Vietnam War protests. But the issue we have is that Facebook has come out and said that we will not fact check political ads, which means we will allow politicians to lie, to spread misinformation, to spread hatred. That is very, very different than the free expression that allows political protest, right? There's nobody out there who is saying, in the United States, who is saying that we want to stifle free expression of political viewpoints. But what he's saying is we are going to allow lying and misinformation.
I think there's quite a few college campuses that stifle political viewpoints right now. What he said right there sounded awfully almost like a given to me. Now, maybe there were false equivalencies in what he was saying, and you pointed some of them out. But what he said right there, that was well written, and I wouldn't take issue with anything he said. Oh, it wasn't right there.
It's not what he said right there.
Okay.
It's what he said afterward.
And you would want to err on the side of, you know, we're all big boys and big girls, and you know, we can see things that we don't like, and we don't. I mean, the opposite is the echo chamber.
But Joe,
we're all living in our own worlds, only listening to things.
Twitter, and I went as you were
Twitter
to look at
a cesspool.
Well, but here, look, he cited Martin Luther King.
Right.
Martin Luther King's daughter went on Twitter yesterday and said, I heard Mark Zuckerberg's free expression speech in which he referenced my father. I'd like to help Facebook better understand the challenges that MLK faced from disinformation campaigns launched by politicians. These campaigns created an atmosphere for his assassination.
Right. And that's my point, which is that what he is talking about is not free expression of political ideas. What it's doing is allowing sort of the hatred, the lies, that sort of misinformation that we were trying to crack down on in the 2016 election.
You don't think that someone yesterday used the horse left the barn or something? I use
toothpaste out of the tube.
Or
is the toothpaste out of the tube?
Already out of the tube.
Well, let's not forget that just a couple of years ago, back in 2016, Mark Zuckerberg was learning Mandarin, was thinking about entering the Chinese market, and the New York Times reported at the time even considering a tool for speech suppression, a tool that could be used by third parties to prohibit certain Facebook posts before they were even posted. So kind of going beyond just a moderating role for Facebook. So this is a calculated move at a certain point in time, but this has not been Facebook's MO for the last couple of years.
So he was willing to over in China to play
freedom of speech now, but when the markets indicated that might have been
a question. That sounds like the NBA.
One thing.
Yes,
I hear what you're saying. How do you go about doing it? I mean, this whole issue about fake news and people manipulating facts, and I'm not either pro or anti-Facebook, but how would they even go about doing what you'd propose, assuming that they were trying to sort of arbitrate what's fact and fiction?
I think this is a wonderful question. And, Joe, I think you're getting to the heart of the real question about Facebook, which is, should Facebook be considered a publisher? If it is considered a publisher, it becomes responsible for the content and legally liable for the content that it publishes. Currently, it is not considered a publisher. It's considered more like
You'd like it to be a
telephone
publisher.
wires.
That would solve the problem.
Well, I don't know that would...
Eunice just asked me, hey, you guys are talking about Facebook. What did you just say? We just went off.
We just went off the air. Really?
what you
Because of
said.
what you just said. That's interesting.
Why
But
is
it's
that?
fine.
CNBC went off because there are monitors
Because of
in
what
China.
you were saying. But there's no problem over there. It's fine. It's great. It's great. That's what,
My goal is to be
that's what
moderated
Joanne
at all
wants
times.
here. That's what she wants here.
That
So
is not
This
true
is a
at
longer
all.
debate. Please come on back. It was
maybe
nice
we
to
can
have
have
both.
that here.